ladies and gentlemen of internet land. Beau here with, you guessed it, another walk. An almost daily walking vlog, walking with Beau. Today I have the chest cam on. So when I do things like this, you get a different point of view, sort of. Anyway, wow, got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Incredibly good stuff. Now, yesterday's walk, I mentioned a little bit about the EU elections. And it appears like the left globalist took a bigger pounding and shellacking than even I thought yesterday. They got smoked. The Belgian Prime Minister had to resign because his party didn't even get 5% of the vote. And, which, believe me, shocked the hell out of them. Then you have Macron, president of France. Marine Le Pen, the Conservative Party, got twice the vote he did. It was the worst turnout for his party in decades. The people in France are friggin' pissed at Macron. They're mad at immigration. They're mad at overtaxation. They're mad at the climate cult. They're angry that farmers are getting screwed over and forced out of farming by high taxes because of climate. And this is all stuff the globalists did on purpose that we were told were conspiracy theorists. But there it is. The people in France know. So, the people of France spoke up. Now, the EU elections are all through the EU. All of Europe. Okay, I'm going to repeat that. All of Europe in the EU were defeated. Everywhere, people voted for the populists. Germany even changed the voting age to 16 years old, hoping to circumvent that revolt, which they kind of knew was coming according to polling. So they legalized voting at 16 years old in Germany, and it didn't help them. It didn't help them at all. They have thoroughly lost the young vote. They all voted conservative. Beautiful thing to watch. This is exactly what we were waiting for. Things have to get really bad before they get better politically, in politics. Jimmy Carter elected Ronald Reagan. Biden, I think, is going to elect Trump. Now, Trump is a convicted felon. He had his probation hearing today, I believe, which is a routine process for somebody convicted. That's information they get out of the way before sentencing next month, July 11th. And the probation officer will find out things, like their income, if they have a past violent history, criminal record, things like that. Obviously, former president of the United States, this is ridiculous. So it was going to be done virtually on screen. It's a virtual meeting interview. And so the probation officer is going to recommend to Judge Mercan what the sentence should be. We already know what it should be. So, anyway, I am feeling this electricity in the air globally right now. Populism, we got that in Argentina. Trudeau is also at the bottom of the barrel, approval-wise. Big things are going to happen this year if we make it there without nuclear holocaust, that is. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Pretty good. So we are witnessing history right now. We are watching the left crumble apart under its own weight of its own stupidity, its own arrogance. So that's what's going on. And this climate stuff was much worse in Europe than the United States, with regard to, in the EU, forcing farmers to euthanize cattle and milk producing cows, which is bankrupting the farmers. And you have farmers in some parts of Europe where they have a tube up the cow's rear end to collect their gas because of climate change. These people have gone too far, and finally, the people have had enough of it. Now Macron, who obviously doesn't believe in democracy, which is the other thing the left does, we have to squash democracy because it's a threat to democracy. It's what they do. So he's calling some kind of parliamentary, I don't even know what you call it in France. I have no idea. Don't know what the elections are about there, but I guess he's having some kind of snap election for parliament to try to circumvent what the people in the EU voted for. So that's not very democratic. So they're going to use the democratic process to squash democracy, because the far right are a threat to democracy because they utilize their right to vote. These people are insane. So basically, we saw a whole bunch of French people on their TVs as the vote results were coming in. These French liberals were sobbing, crying, just like they did when Trump won. Because this is a big deal. This is a huge deal. Now, the media in the United States, they're not really going to report on it, on how monumental and huge this is. This is one of the biggest historical, lopsided, right-wing victories in Earth's entire time of existence. Earth-shattering. They will not recover from this. Thanks. Thank you. So that's what happened with that. They're not going to cover it because they're afraid that's going to catch on here. Because I guess they've never heard of the internet. So the other funny thing that happened was Trump had a rally Saturday, I think. Oh, I think it was yesterday. Anyway, Trump was making a joke talking about, his voters, like they're gonna say, oh, he doesn't care. I don't care about my voters. I just care about the vote. I just want to win. Now, he was making a lighthearted joke. So, of course, the media seized on that. And Trump even said it at his rally. He says, watch what the media does with what I just said. Sure enough, Trump says, I don't care about my voters. I don't care if they vote for me. I just want to win. I don't care about them. President Biden's official Twitter page and Facebook page posted the video of him talking at the rally where you could clearly see he was being humorous. You can hear the crowd laughing when he said it. And they posted it on the official Biden page, like Trump was saying this about his supporters. And Biden posted simply, I approve this message. Like, you know, like Trump did some kind of self-inflicted wound to injure himself, and it's so stupid. So of course, you know what the replies were. Biden, this is one of the replies I read. President Biden, who is so senile, falls for a joke at a rally. When do people call and scam the launch codes from an old man? That's the kind of backlash. Their stuff just isn't working, okay? It's not. People aren't stupid. People of Europe aren't stupid. And Americans aren't stupid. There's a reason why Pride attendance is down this year. And Democrats here in Maine aren't talking about it. They're not talking about Pride. There's no official proclamations. There's nothing. It's election year. They've seen their internal polling. Voters are not happy. And the other big topic is immigration. Now in Massachusetts, especially Boston, specifically Boston, the city council just passed a new rule where they are a sanctuary city and immigrants have a right to housing. They have been so buried since they passed that their airport in Boston, people are walking through immigrants in their hallways and tents and stuff like that. It looks like a third world country, because it is. Voters are walking right by that. They don't like that. They have made it very clear. They've made it very clear that Democrat voters, the liberals who want to help these people, are not happy with what's happening. That should be a huge wake-up call. But Democrats, they're dumb. Just like in Europe, the liberals over there double down on everything. They passed hate speech laws. If you complain about immigration, you end up in court and you're charged with a hate crime. And they do that here too, differently. Here, you can't really do that with free speech, but you can pass an ordinance where saying a pride crosswalk painted, if you squawk your tires on it, you can be charged with a hate crime, a felony. So, because you're defacing public property. So when they paint this stuff, they always make sure they order more than $1,000 worth of paint. Because usually if you destroy property valued at more than $1,000, you can get charged with a felony. So they're not charging people with hate speech. They're charging people with a felony for destroying private property. That's how they roll. But some cities have ordinances where if you burn a pride flag, it's a hate crime. But you can burn the flag of the United States and it's perfectly fine. Now people are catching on to that. We just had protesters in Washington, D.C. supporting Palestine who were defacing statues outside the White House. Now, if a Republican did that, they would be prosecuted. for defacing public property, which is going to cost them more than $1,000 to fix. So people are figuring out, and they're seeing that hypocrisy, that two-tiered justice system that they say doesn't exist. And the people are getting sick of it. You are going to see some changes this year. I don't care what the polling says. Don't pay attention to the polling, it's wrong. Joe Biden's approval today was a historic low. It was the lowest of his presidency yet. The 37%. So after Trump's conviction and all this other bullshit that they're running, Biden is even less popular than he was. It's like, hello? How the hell can Trump and Biden be neck and neck in national polling? It literally does not make sense. It just doesn't. So yesterday's walk, I was talking about polling companies and how they're hired. They basically contract themselves out to the biggest bidder because they're a company and they want to make money. So that's what they're doing. And if you give your customer what they didn't pay for, they don't come back. So Biden always has to be close around Trump in every poll. I'm pretty sure these polling companies will do polling and Trump will be at 60%, Biden at 40, 38%, whatever. And then they'll do the poll again until they get the number they want. Or they'll just outright lie. So we found out we can't trust anything we're told or see anyway from the media, polling companies, it doesn't matter. If they keep the poll close, then they can cheat in the election and say, well, the polls were close, there's no surprise here, Biden won. That's why they do it. Right? So we're going to get a full dose of that BS this year. And then, of course, we got the monkey in the wrench. The July 11th sentencing. If they sentence Trump to jail and house arrest, the election's over for the Democrats. I think it's over now. But if they jump that shark, I think you're going to see a 5 or 6% increase among the black vote for Trump. He's already at 18%. According to polling, I think it's higher than that. And Democrats are digging their own graves, just like they did in the EU. Same exact thing. You say anything about it, oh, you're a racist. Oh, you're a bigot. You're a transphobe, you're a this phobe, or that phobe. It's not working, folks. People have been beaten over their heads so much with it, they don't give it any credence or merit anymore. They've worn it out. That's what we're seeing. It's pretty bad. They've lost the young vote in Europe. They have no future, they can't afford to eat, they can't afford anything. They're not happy about it. You know, give Donald Trump a chance in this country. Give him a chance. He had nothing but lawfare against him with the Mueller, Russia, remember that? And he still had a good presidency. And he had the pandemic. So the pandemic really screwed him over because it effectively cut his presidency short to 3 years. So, and after he was out of office, everybody that worked for him was investigated or prosecuted for process crimes. Bullshit. Steve Bannon's doing 4 months in prison right now for telling Congress to go screw themselves. He martyred himself because he knew they were going to prosecute him. And he said, I don't care. They can send me to jail, he said. This was before he was charged. It'll show how awful they are. And at the end of the day, this will help the country more than it will hurt. What they're doing to Trump right now has never happened before. It's unprecedented. The Democrats are trying to, pretty good. They're trying to spin that like it's something good. Yeah, exactly. That's why we need to get rid of him. He's that bad. That's not how the public is taking it. Because they know Trump didn't have a trial for rape. He didn't have a trial for murder. He hasn't been charged with serious crimes. They had to manufacture a felony from piecing two different things together, and people know that. Thankfully, there was enough coverage on even the liberal media to say there's really not much here. I hope the jury finds him guilty, because a jury can do that, they said, whether he's guilty or not. It's basically what they were saying, and that's what happened. So that's going to be overturned on appeal, for sure. Anyway, I'm very excited. I really am. I mean, this is all good, positive things. Stay strong. Don't waver. What they're doing is wrong, okay? And the people in the United States, throughout our history, have figured things out and then made it right again. The real question is, how much cheating are they going to do? They have less of a stranglehold on social media now because they were outed. They tried so hard the last time to stop Trump from being elected. This time people are catching on to what they did. They're hearing about it and they don't trust them. So it's going to be more difficult for them. And if they up their censorship, they're just going to make more people angry, and they'll talk about it more. It's like, at the end of the day, why can't you just have a freaking candidate who can beat the other candidate fairly? Why can't you just do that? It's like you're admitting all your policies are stupid, a bunch of BS. So anyway, and yes, I talk with my hands a lot. I'm French, okay? That's just the way that is. My whole family does it. I probably do it more than other people, but body language is important. I'm just really happy because I can see them coming to an end. It's just a matter of time. We're going to have to endure some more BS. We're going to have to endure another high school student getting raped in the restroom by a trans person who really isn't a trans person. They just say that so they could go in the ladies' restroom and rape somebody. We got this black dude who went to prison for violent sex offenses. And he said he was a woman. And guess what he did? He raped a female prison inmate, and she's not happy about it. So he ended up being sent to a men's prison. It's like, why did that even have to happen? That woman needs to sue the state and make them pay for their stupidity, and she'll win. She will. I'm sure she's already been contacted by attorneys willing to take that up. So it's a matter of time. This stuff is going to fall under its own weight. We just have to wait it out, but we need to stay diligent and we need to vote. Very important. The EU just showed us how important it is to vote. Now, I'm in an area here where I'm fully confident in this district Trump is going to win, okay? In the immediate Lewiston voting, he will get more votes than Biden. It'll be close. But if you take the entire district, it includes a lot of red and northern Maine, Trump is going to win there easily. He did in the last election too, and he did the election before that. That was the first time a Republican did that since Ronald Reagan. So George W. Bush didn't even do that. So what I'm saying is, I'm going to vote, other people are going to vote, and Trump is going to get that electoral college vote from Maine that he got before, and I hope he adds more to it with the rest of the state. I don't think that'll happen, but in other words, I think Trump will do well in this district, which by the way is CD2, Congressional District 2, on the district map. The real election is going to be between Jared Golden and the soon-to-be picked. Voting day is tomorrow, by the way, okay, to pick your Republican congressional candidate. We got Mike Sobolewski and we have Austin Terrio. Now, Terrio is the one Trump endorsed. Mike Sobolewski has been in politics his entire life. He's a Marine, former Marine. He is pro-gun, he's pro this, he's pro that, but he's also pro-corporate. And I explained this already, where the city of Portland was supposed to take care of the Portland Sea Dogs' needs financially, so they would stay in Portland, and they failed to do that because they talked with some Democrats who are in power here and said, don't worry about it, we'll come up with your money. Go ahead and spend that money on immigration. So immigration is costing us a lot of money, okay? And Portland spent it. They were housing immigrants in the gymnasium, a couple places. The Celtics farm team in Portland, basketball, needed the court to practice and play on before the season started, so they had to move all these immigrants, which they did at cost, great cost, and they didn't have the money for the Sea Dogs. Sea Dogs had a league mandated, okay, the league mandated that the clubhouses had to be renovated and updated to modern facility status. Well, that was going to cost a few $1 million, okay? Portland didn't have it anymore. So they spent it on immigrants and social bullshit. So anyway, long story short, Mike Sobolewski gave a floor speech when they were voting for that in the Maine legislature. Most of the Republicans voted against funding the Sea Dogs because it was Portland's problem, and they're passing it on to taxpayers in Maine to foot the bill. The argument was that the company that owns the Sea Dogs owns about 12 other baseball teams. They're a multi-billion-dollar corporation. They have the money to renovate the clubhouse for a few $1 million. But they didn't do it because Portland was supposed to pay for it. That was part of the deal with the team being there. And this new league rule change came along and they have to comply with it. Good timing, right? Don't have the money for it. So Mike Sobolewski gave this big speech about how many sports teams are Maine gonna lose, blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna vote to support this. So that is technically and literally what you call in DC corporate welfare. It's something that the Rhino Republican has been doing for decades. The Democrats do it. It's bankrupting us. Corporations that can afford it are not paying it because they're getting bailed out by politicians. So why would a corporation pay that money when they're automatically just going to assume that politicians are going to use tax dollars? They're not stupid. So Mike Sobolewski, that's who he supported. Corporate welfare. And this is what's wrong with the Republican Party, and that's why I didn't vote for him in the primary for tomorrow. I voted early. And I voted for Austin Terrio, who did not support that. I'm tired of seeing Republicans who are either borderline or corrupt, which in my opinion Mike Sobolewski is. So I'm just one voter. I didn't vote for him. Hopefully other people, because it was made very clear that Trump endorsed this guy, Terrio, former NASCAR racer and current House representative from northern Maine, from Red Country, that people should vote for him. And I have seen some Republicans online who aren't sure they should vote for Terrio just because Trump says so. They like Mike Sobolewski. So I can't tell you who voters are going to pick. I can't. But this is the most important election year because Jared Golden, the Democrat, who runs as being a blue dog Democrat, which technically means that he's a moderate and he doesn't go along with the far left, who thus far has voted with the far left. So he also wants to take the AR assault rifles. I know it's a made-up term. He wants to take those away from voters. He wants to force you. First he said he was going to take those away. And then he said, well, maybe you should just get a tax stamp and get permission from the government to have them. So we're back to having permission from the government, right? So anyways, I had explained what happened to Jared Golden. He hasn't disclosed his financials, but judging by his behavior, he was pro-gun, 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 only Democrat not to vote in DC to support gun control. Now all of a sudden he is. He announced this at the end of last year, in December, after his financing. Candidates have to raise money for their parties. They have a deadline, and that's the end of the year. So coincidentally, he gets a couple of big donations from two people related to George Soros. It doesn't take rocket science to figure out what happened. Because after that, he announced he was now in support of banning assault rifles. So these people are slime bags. You know, we need to get rid of these people. Jared Golden, who is a blue dog moderate, does not belong in that seat. It's a red seat. Trump won that district. Jared Golden voted to impeach him. And now he wants to take your guns after saying he didn't want to take your guns. I really sincerely hope voters in Maine finally figure this guy out and get rid of him. Trump or no Trump, okay? This isn't about Trump anymore. This isn't about Trump. This is about our country and the crazy Democrats who are destroying it. Period. Full stop. That's it. So you have to be like a couple of celebrities that have been brave enough to speak out. As more and more of them are speaking out in favor of Trump. You know, like Dennis Quaid. Yeah, Trump's an asshole, he said, but he's my asshole. That's the attitude people are taking. You don't have to like Donald Trump. You have to like the results he got when he was president, and not the results that the media said he got or didn't do, or because that's all a bunch of nonsense. So I'm gonna vote for the felon. I'm voting for the convicted felon. That's it, because he's the best choice. Well, today is kind of mild today. Not kind of, it is. Definitely the humidity upticked. Yesterday's walk, I had a long sleeve and a shirt over that because it was Canadian cool. Then we had some showers yesterday afternoon, thunderstorm. And actually, we didn't have a thunderstorm yesterday, but it did rain twice throughout the day when the front went by. We just didn't get thunderstorms. And now it's noticeably warmer. My brow is sweating. I got sweat dripping down my face, which is what you want when you're walking. It's about 70 degrees. And it's a little humid. And a couple of kids here are going to go play in the park. Very nice. Kids out there playing in the park. Right out there playing basketball. Very cool. I've seen this dude out here with his kids before. He's a good dad. Brings his kids out here, get some exercise and some sunshine. It's one thing I've kind of found interesting walking almost daily is it seems like every walk seems to be different. It has its own vibe to it. It's kind of like every day at your job. Some days are different than others. A lot of times you don't get the same thing happen all the time. Which is something else I wanted to mention. California. Wow, big news. And this is big news because this is what we said would happen. And, you know, the media runs a campaign saying that statistically that's not true, that's not what happens. And then it happens. So, California mandated $20 an hour for service workers at fast food restaurants, okay? So they mandated $20 an hour minimum wage. Now, what we would say is, if you do that, you're forcing businesses to cut into their overhead. It adds to overhead cost. So, because they have things like revolving credit with the bank to make payroll, there's a percentage rate on that, yada, yada, yada. Basic business math, okay? I had business math in college, I understand it. First in, last out, all that other garbage. And so, you know, it's like they passed this law for equity, okay? Equity. A lot of minorities work in fast food and they should be paid more money, which I agree, they should be. But you can't force businesses to do that, because then it's not affordable for them to be in business. And the solution is going to be they're going to lay off employees. And it's going to hurt young people, because now young people are going to be unemployed. They're not going to have jobs. Well, guess what McDonald's in California did? They eliminated 10,000 jobs. 10,000. That's just McDonald's. That doesn't include KFC, Burger King, whatever. So that's just 10,000 jobs in California because they mandated $20 an hour minimum wage. And of course, it just put young people out of work because Democrats are dumb. That's the kind of stuff they do. So it's not working for them. They're losing. It's a matter of time. And these people are going to learn the hard way. And in case anybody didn't know it, this Pierre, press secretary lunatic, she runs the Biden social media pages. Biden doesn't do that. She actually got caught doing that. She made a post on the Biden page that was supposed to be on her page as press secretary. So she made a mistake. She logged into the wrong account, because if you use a Twitter app, you can have all your accounts listed and you just click which one you want to go into. Sometimes you end up in the wrong account by accident because you clicked on a notification. So that's what she did. So she got caught with that already. But that post was really interesting, where they tried to make Trump look like he was disparaging his own voters. I mean, how dumb are these people? I mean, that reply was perfect. Biden, who's a senile old man, thinks that Trump's joke he made was real. That really is the headline. And it's really Pierre, the press secretary. It's not even Trump, Biden, I mean. So that's even funnier. So all the Democrats were posting that all over the place yesterday, and now they look dumb. There was also another fake ad where Trump was paying people to go to his rally on Craigslist. They have been running that same gag since 2015. It hasn't worked yet. I don't know why they keep doing it. Get desperate, I guess. Actors needed $125 for Las Vegas rally. It's a fake ad. The last fake ad they did was in March for Phoenix to try to make it look like the thousands of people that went to Trump's rally were paid for. Like, common sense should just kick in and say, okay, President Trump got more votes than any incumbent in history. He got more votes than Biden, Obama, or anybody else, even Ronald Reagan, Nixon. He got more votes as an incumbent than anybody, Democrat, Republican, whatever. Let me guess, he paid for all those millions and millions of votes. Come on. How dumb do these people think other people are? So, if this is all they have for ammunition, they're even in more trouble, because even Reuters issued an article saying that the fake Craigslist ad thing from March of this year was fake. Hi, how are you? I'm just fine. Just waiting for Democrats to lose like everybody else. She goes, hope so. See? People know. She said, I hope so. So, it's crazy what's going on right now. Crazy, crazy. Make sure you vote, okay? You gotta vote. You have to vote. You have to get people to vote. Trump has been encouraging voting early. Beat them at their own game, because they like to game the system. They like to game the system. And this year in Georgia, the absentee ballot results have to be announced on election night. They can't shut down in the middle of the night anymore. I can't say the same for Wisconsin and Minnesota and places like that. But hey, Georgia is a battleground state. It's important. So we're going to see shenanigans. Currently, Republicans in those states, especially in Michigan, where they do have a legislative advantage, are trying to get legislation passed mandating that the election have to be easily observed by anybody in both parties. You can't hide election poll watchers. Why would they have something to hide, you know? It's supposed to be a democratic election. It shouldn't matter. It just shouldn't matter, period. There's really no reason to do it other than you're doing something you shouldn't be doing. We're going to need people, boots on the ground, watching the elections. Period. Period. Very important. And the other advantage about voting early is, you know, like in Phoenix, Arizona, and places like that, and it happened in red areas where the Republicans were expected to do well. They were told by Republican campaigns to wait until voting day and show up to vote on voting day, even if the lines are long, because the Democrats cheat if you mail your vote in. So that's what people did, and the Democrats ended up, oh, well, shucks. The voting machines are having problems. You'll have to wait until it's fixed. Instead of giving them a provisional ballot to fill out, so their vote would count anyway, a lot of people were old, it's hot, uncomfortable, so they went home and said, I'll go vote later. Well, some of them didn't come back to vote, and they were mad. So the Democrats cheated anyway. So anybody that tells you a Democrat doesn't cheat in elections, I want you to tell them about Shanna Bellows in Maine, who tried to keep Trump off the ballot with a legal loophole, which is lawfare. It's cheating, period. If you can't put forth a candidate that can win on his own, then you shouldn't win. They know Biden's horrible, so they know they're going to have to cheat even more than they did the last time. That's the problem I have. And they're going to do that because they'll have to. They absolutely do not want Trump to be president, period. It's not something they can allow. So I'm all worried about them trying to kill Trump. That's what I'm worried about. Because that might be their last resort. Biden's numbers today were freaking horrible. Terrible. The worst he's had yet. The people are ready for change. They can sense it. And now it's going to be a matter of how much are the Democrats and media going to cheat. You know, and Biden was running that thing about Trump saying that veterans were losers and suckers that got killed in Normandy. Running that same lie again. And it's like they're just going to keep saying it anyway because it'll resonate with the young vote that they need. That's the only reason why they're doing it. Because their heavily censored apps they use aren't going to tell them it's not true. And all they do is they block anybody on the right that tells them otherwise. Because anybody that's a Republican at this point, to them, is a racist. They're a Trumper. They're a member of Hitler's party. So that's all they have going for them, that same 25%. And they will get that vote, make no mistake. A lot of young people are just dumb. They're too dumb in this country to understand it. But there's a lot of them that will do the right thing. I mean, you don't have to like Donald Trump. You really don't. But do you enjoy money? Do you enjoy low gas costs? Do you enjoy being able to actually afford the dollar menu at McDonald's? Are you tired of eating ramen noodles? What is it exactly that Trump was so horrible? So I think a lot of people are going to process that, and we'll see what happens. And you're also going to see some people like they did with Hillary. Oh yeah, Hillary! And then they voted for Trump, 2015. So I think you might see some of that too. Then when Trump wins, they'll do like this fake hate for Trump, and they voted for him. So we might see a percentage of that. That'll be a small percentage, very small. But every little bit matters. You got Biden on TV, on interviews, nationally, saying, well, people can afford to pay more now, so what's the problem? Instead of saying, well, things are too expensive, I promise you I'll fix it. Because he can't say that, because he promised he would fix that before, at midterms. So their big thing is they like to buy votes, canceling the student debt with $7-point-something billion, and which is going to end up costing more than that, actually. Between funding Ukraine and everything else, it's why people can't afford to eat. It's out of hand right now, out of hand. The public needs to show up. They need to show up and vote. That's all there is to it, really. If everybody shows up and vote that's grumbling and unhappy, Biden will be gone. It'll be history. But people need to do that. They need to give Trump the Congress back, and so they need to give Trump Congress and the Senate so he can actually get things done that need to be done. So very interesting times we're in. We will prevail. I am an optimist. And the reason why I say that is I thought Europe, it wasn't even a month ago, I was talking on these videos saying, well, Europe's a lost cause, they're gone. The voters, they're on their dead ass doing nothing. Well, look what happened. One of the biggest stunning upsets in political history just happened this past weekend and the end of last week. So stay the course, put your faith in the Constitution, believe in it, and this country, the Constitution was designed to handle things like what's going on now. I think we're going to see that. Hey, come on, stop that. I come by here every day. Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? I'm okay. I'm a nice guy. Every day you do this. The dog was just looking at me like, wow, you know what? You're right. You do come by here every day. Why am I being stupid? So anyway, so what I was talking about is put faith in the Constitution and our systems of government. Right now we have a good Supreme Court. They're doing the right things. They're not rubber stamping everything for Republicans, despite what the media is saying. We have lost on some stuff. Coney Barrett about universities mandating vaccines was a disappointment. She said they have a legal right to do that. So they also said the Electoral College vote, bills that have been passing in states like Maine are constitutional. So, you know, but the Democrats aren't happy because it's pretty much assured they're going to say that Trump does have immunity as president for official acts. So that's going to take away some of this legal stuff that's going on and people being prosecuted with fake electors and this and that, because Trump has made it clear that he was president when he was calling around about these elections. He's trying to make sure that the elections were fair. That's literally your job as a president. Just because it was in your favor doesn't mean he was doing anything improper. So those things will put a lot of this lawfare to rest. And, you know, we have to wait until we get through the courts. It's our third branch of government. The reason why the founders put that there is to keep the other two in check when things start getting crazy and out of hand like they are now. So the system is working. Got to give it time. Be patient. Democracy is a slow son of a bitch. I've said that 1,000 times. It's true. It can literally take years of legal stuff. But eventually the dust is going to settle. Eventually Trump will be out of the picture, whether it's after he's got the next presidency or he's rotting in a prison cell. That's going to be up to the people. So people need to choose their champion. If you're tired of all the bullshit that's going on, then there's no reason not to vote for Trump. There just isn't. You don't have to like him. So that's about all I got to say on that, I guess. Makes for a good walk. I got a good sweat going. My adrenaline's going. I'm pumped up for the election. See what happens with the local elections tomorrow. And we'll find out who the Republican candidate is going to be to face off against the Democrat in November. Austin Terrio had a great televised debate. Did a great job. And You know, don't get me wrong, Mike Sobolewski is not a bad guy. He's not. He was at 9/11, firefighter in the rubble, breathing in that crap, trying to find survivors. Great patriot, great American, but between then and now, 23 years later, he's gotten softer, older. He's more of a rhino. He comes out with these fake, we need to impeach Shanna Bellows for trying to keep Trump off the ballot. Well, he says stuff like that, but he doesn't say in the same breath because Trump is the guy that should be president. He's not really sticking up for Trump. And we've seen this happen, where these Republicans say what they need to do to get elected, and then when they get elected, they forget about the people who put them there, and then they go with the politics, they go with the corporations, and he already showed that to me with the Sea Dogs. I already know Sobolewski is not the guy we want. Thankfully, Terrio is going to have the money from the Republican Party behind him. Hopefully that's doing something good. And I really hope that Sobolewski doesn't ignore the primary results and stick himself, hi buddy, stick himself on the ballot anyway. That's our little doggy friend, the nice doggy. I guess he's got sick of barking at me and doesn't feel like it anymore. Oh look, we got another rainbow. Don't know if you can see that. Another a double rainbow, another one. There's another rainbow on the outside of that one. Hope you can see that. I'll leave it here for a second so you can take a look. But we do have a rainbow again. See if I can get top of the hill here. See if we can get a good shot of that. Wow, it's a pretty bright one too. I really hope you can see that, because if you can't, this is going to be disappointing. I gotta get up to this hill before the rainbow goes away. We gotta see around the church to get a good picture. It's actually a good picture with the church, I think. What do you think? Here's the rainbow behind the church. Oh. No, don't fade away. You gotta catch a rainbow while it's there. Gotta hurry up and get to the end of it to find a pot of gold. It says 2 days in a row we get a rainbow. Oh, look at that. That's a good shot. Pretty cool, huh? I'm gonna go down this way and try to get a shot with my camera. We got it. All right. Just hit 4 miles. I got good pictures of that. And look at it. That's a pretty cool rainbow, actually. The double rainbow is still there now, but faintly. But the main rainbow looks pretty cool. That ain't bad. And that's what I was talking about, where each walk turns out to be a little different from one another. It's nice to have a rainbow and it's not raining. So, I mean, look at that. I mean, it is Pride Month after all, right? So that's a pride rainbow, I guess. It's the gay rainbow. We don't have any rain, so obviously there's moisture in the air over there. That's pretty cool. All right, so we caught another rainbow. At the 4 mile mark. There it is right there, going down behind the short horizon there. Where's me gold? Kind of a fan of that 80s movie series, Leprechaun and Leprechaun 2. Now granted, Leprechaun 3 was kind of ridiculous, but it was still entertaining because it was ridiculous. But anyway, where's me gold? So I think I got a good shot with the church with the rainbow behind it, Holy Cross Church, Holy Family. It's still there. It's kind of fading out a little bit in the middle. Rainbow's fading fast. It lost all its juice. Nice bright sunshine trying to come through the clouds. Trying to peek through. Breeze is picking up. I'm all sweaty, so it feels nice and cool. Yeah, give me some more breeze, please. Well, at least I'm not getting rained on today. Afternoon thunderstorms, sometimes they creep up. So, we'll be wrapping up this walk here shortly. We got 4.5 miles. I don't see any point in changing the battery when the walk's almost done. So, I want to thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Got to see the rainbow and other things. Hope you have a good week. If you don't watch the next video, click like and subscribe. Share the video content that you like or find pertinent. I am going to be adding some new gun content at some point. I'm going to add got some ammunition coming in the mail. I think I'm going to do a short little ammunition video. Talk about steel case ammunition that is coated with nickel covered steel casing. So stay tuned for that. Also, there's going to be the Henry Homesteader review as soon as it arrives. 9mm carbine from Henry, or carbine, whatever your preference is for that. As well as the Walther Colt 22 1911. Very pretty pistol. Still waiting for that. So there will be reviews on those. And a lot of these videos online, I know it's cumbersome, it's annoying, because it's difficult to show close-up detail, but I want to get good video of the Henry Homesteader with close-up detailing. A lot of reviews just don't do that. You got to stand there and watch them shoot it for 10 minutes. You don't need to shoot that many bullets to make your point. So I will tack a shooting video on the end of it when it's ready. And I thank you very much for watching. So I'm just gonna walk on now. I don't know how much battery's left. Guess I could open the app. So according to this, it's connecting. How much time we got left? Still trying to connect. Because I'm recording right now. Sometimes it connects right away, and then sometimes I have to stop it from recording, and I'm not going to do that. So anyway, thank you for watching. Hello again. So we're going to continue on until it stops recording, or I get the 5 miles, whichever comes first. Whew, I am sweating pretty good. All right, well, this is a good time as any. Thank you for watching. Have a beautiful week. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.